Hey everyone, this is Darren Benton with Performance Motorcoaches. Wanted to do a video really quickly of a available 2024 Renegade Classic. For some people that have been in the Elkhart area, you might recognize where we're at. We're actually at the Elkhart campground here in Elkhart. They are doing some of the boot camp stuff right now, but they're far away. Just wanted to get this video out of the way and kind of go through the unit and display the very first, the one and only Peterbilt 589. Peterbilt just released these trucks roughly about right about the first of the year, and we finally have one that's completed Renegade. We do have some others that are coming. We do have some availability. So if you have any interest in a Peterbilt 589, kind of give us a shout. We've done some of these in the past. So we've done some 567s. I think the last Peterbilt video we had was a 567, and then we did several of the 389s last year. So I'll kind of get into basically the cab portion of it. So the reason back behind the Peterbilt is for the really classic trucker. I guess you could debate on what the best truck is. Some people think that if it's not a Peterbilt, it's junk, and so here's your opportunity to get a Peterbilt. There's pros and cons about every truck, but it's definitely a classic truck. I think it's going to have far better resale because it's such a unique truck. There's really not many of them out there. There's none of them out there other than some of the ones we'll have coming from here on out, but this coach is available. So the cab itself is basically that of a 567. This is locked, but we'll run it on the other side. So the 567 cab has kind of been the same. It's got a one-piece windshield. And then previously, this look was either the 379 or the 389, which has this really classic look hood and the aluminum surround. And then they coupled the headlights basically from the 567. So they took different components to kind of modernize the truck. I've read everything online where people really crap talk this truck. And I think it's just due the very traditional truck guys like that 389, that much narrower cab. I can tell you it's a quieter cab. I can tell you it rides and drives better, but everybody has this preconceived idea of what the best truck is, what the ultimate truck motorhome is, and this is going to be for somebody that wants kind of the newest, latest, greatest, but still wants that really classic look, because I think this is a much better look than the 567. Still has that really classic trucker look. We heavily option the coach. There's a few things I generally don't put on coaches. It's generally power window shades. I generally don't do backlit countertops. Some of the kind of more gimmicky stuff. So just kind of a matter of preference there. The truck itself, as far as engine, it's a rocket ship. It is a 18-speed Endurance transmission. The engine itself is a Cummins X15. Because of the little bit shorter hood, we have to do a 565 horse X15 versus the 605. I don't think you'll ever be able to tell any difference. It's still 1850 torque, and the 18 speed is a rocket ship. My camera person can attest. We drove some of these things as bare naked chassis, and we were flying around. It was amazing how fast that they accelerate. The 18 speed transmission is definitely impressive. So we've got the rooftop awnings out. The only thing that's painted on this truck, so this is the FRP, that's white. And then, so we painted all of the awning toppers, the profiles, and the extruded aluminum edge around there. I think it just kind of classes it up. Didn't want all that stuff in black. There's certain portions that are gonna be black regardless. So like the surround here, surround around, you have enough black on the truck, but I just think it looks far classier to take and have the white painted top rail, the white awning, and the white slide toppers itself. The floor plan really hasn't changed. So this is a 2024, but it is on the 2025 model chassis, which is kind of strange. But basically, the breakdown is kind of June 1st, whenever you would see 2025s. I really don't think it's an issue, given the fact that it's the only 589 out there, and it is a 2025 model chassis itself. So floor plans haven't changed. So 23, 24, and now 25. The CBFs are all the same. So this is the 2-bath bunkhouse. We build and sell a lot of the 2-bath bunkhouses. I would say the CBF is, well, there's no doubt it's the most popular floor plan out there in a classic. They went from 22 front entry, 23 and beyond. Mid-entry, they were able to gain a little bit more space whenever they do a mid-entry because they can push all the cabinets all the way forward. So a lot of standard stuff, side swing baggage doors that are fully locking, outdoor entertainment with sound bar. Starting in 23, this comes out and will angle. They went to a roof-mounted awning in 23. We generally do the dual launch. There again, kind of classes it up. Just kind of has a really unique look whenever you see the coach driving up and down the road and you don't see all the air conditioners. So you see the profiles and everything matches and really ties in. We kept with the 450 Aqua Hot. The reason why we generally do the 450 allows us to be able to put a power washer in that compartment. We've done a lot of power washers in the Aqua Hot compartment. Keeps you from having to like winterize that. And just kind of utilizes some dead space more or less. We could do the 600, obviously not on this, but I really think that the 450 is sufficient for most people's camping to be able to warm the coach and keep your domestic water warm. So you'll see some parts. This coach is going to Texas. I try not to ship the parts because I know things get damaged, so we've got some trim. We got some other coach parts that we'll take and get wrapped up before the coach leaves here. That's one thing that makes this a little bit different. We can generally get parts within a few days and not have to worry about getting damaged because I try to get everything wrapped up and put them in a coach, kind of dual purpose to be able to get a coach back and get some parts as well. So it will have a total of 5 security lights, basically 1 on the rear, 2 on each side here. The porch light standard. It does have the Trimark keyless entry with the key fobs themselves. We're shipping a lot of satellites separate. In fact, in 2025, satellite will not be standard because of the amount of coaches that you'll see with Starlink. So we generally just have that shipped separately. So if the customer doesn't want it, they can keep it. Might be able to trade it in as well. But it's a nice 3/4 pass-through right there. Central vac, and I noticed that they started isolating the fuse. This is one of the first fuse setups for the trailer plug there, which I think is a little bit better setup. Be curious to kind of ask what the idea back behind that is, but I think it's more readily accessible to be able to get to some of your trailer fuses rather than having to put up in another compartment. The central vac port is underneath the bed, and there's a port on the unit itself. You can always tell the classics. One, you can't build a Peterbilt on anything but a classic. It does not have any kind of rear cap, so just a really square look, but it doesn't bother me at all. It's just a nice clean look to it. A little bit more utility, and of course a bunk over. If you want a bunk over, you have to go with classic, but kind of everything fits all together. The hitch assembly, the way it's sitting right now, is basically rated at 30,000 pounds. It looks like they have upped this to actually 32,000 pounds. You can do like a mini fifth wheel or a pintle setup and rate it at 40,000 pounds. But I did notice that they changed up some of those figures in the last few months there. But essentially, I would say 30,000, and if you went up to a mini fifth wheel or pintle, you go up to 40,000 pounds. We're generally taking cap off the glad hands there. They can do that at the dealership. It does have the additional light package on the back, basically the 4 vertical lights that are clearance lights and turn signals themselves. So transfer switch, there's also a 50 amp plug, and then there's a 110. We generally try to put a 110 in any plug that you might need to plug, a charger in, maybe an e-bike, without having to run extension cord, anything wild and crazy through a door, window. Try to put it in any open compartment. 12.5 Onan will be standard on any tandem axle coaches. Nice clean wet bay. It does have the optional macerator pump system in there. There is a hydronic register within the wet bay to be able to monitor the temperatures and actually heat it. And then you do have your sea level monitor system for all your tanks. there, which makes it kind of handy. I see videos pop up, and I kind of chuckle whenever I hear the term tag axle. I see a guy advertising a truck, and he says it's a tag axle. It's not a tag axle. So it's interesting. There's a lot of people that sell these things. There's a lot of people that really don't know what the heck they're doing. But I wanted to kind of address that. So this is not a tag axle. This is tandem axle. So this is like any truck. Basically, your front axle, you can lock your front axle in left to right, and then you can lock your back axle in as well. So a tag axle is basically just a floating axle. These are not tag axles. These are live axles. And if you're buying a truck and spending 600 grand, you should probably buy some from somebody that knows the difference between that. So they are true live active axles on all these trucks. So gray and black, so 75 gallons a piece there. And then the maximum number of batteries that can go on board here from the factory. Technically, we could probably get another one in there. Because of the fuel tank arrangement on this compartment got a little bit bigger, even with the dual Victrons and the 4 270 amp hour lithium batteries there. It's been welcome to have the full Victron system in the last few years. Just kind of eliminated a lot of inverter issues and solar charger controllers. Chassis batteries within that compartment, and then basically your 12 volt fuses down below, and then a monster DEF tank. I put 18 gallons of DEF in that last night, so I'm guessing that's a 20 plus gallon DEF tank, which is definitely nice. Not have to worry about stopping there all the time. The emissions are actually in line on this, so it does have dual fuel tanks, so they're 80 gallons a piece, so 160 gallons of total fuel on board. So very classy cab there. We did kind of a gray tone dash to be able to match the interior on it. We put the monitor on the overhead there, where normally you would have a CB. We could take and drop that down and build a bracket if a guy wanted a CB, but still have that monitor overhead there. Very comfortable seats, lots of lumbar. They do have the auto floatings, so there's lots of functions and features within the seats themselves. And then it does have from the factory a curtain that goes all the way around, and then from Renegade it has an additional curtain. So if you don't want to open that up, be able to keep that either really warm or really cold. So very the West Coast style mirrors, just there again, a trucker's truck. But I can tell you it's far, far quieter than the 389s and the 379s we've done in the past. It does have additional lighting on the exterior. Just to me, there again, it kind of just ties it all in with the chrome, the white. So we'll come inside here. Here lately, I've been doing a lot more of this Cape Cod stain. It's just kind of a lighter feeling inside. Prior to, we were using a little bit more brown tone stain, and it just seemed like it got browner as time progressed. So the first thing you'll notice here, we went ahead and raised the window shades up so you can see out. I think this is very cool to have. Basically, you have to eliminate that storage there, which to me is not a lot to give up, but just the fact of having this monster windows here in this location just kind of opens up the coach, gives you a nice open and airy feeling. But definitely, it's very welcome to me whenever you have a little bit smaller cab opening, and that's the only cab opening you can take and do on a Peterbilt. Got the escape hatch overhead there. We have basically a storage over here on the right. The reason why I like doing that is, one, people like storage, and two, we can do, essentially this is a queen size mattress, so it's 60 inches wide and 80 inches long, so it makes it a little bit easier to take and get any type of bedding versus 100 plus inches long. Kind of makes it a pain to be able to have to worry about that bedding versus kind of a very standard. So I think 23 they went to Lambrite, just nice, comfortable furniture. This is a ultra leather versus a leather, so a little bit tougher. You know, if you have dogs, it's not going to scratch the way leather does. You got storage here and 2 filler cushions. So this does come down, probably just more for a kid than anybody else, but you could put 2 adults up there. I generally like to option them with the theater seats, just because I don't find that people are trying to sleep 10 people in a coach, and most of the time the owners want to have a nice, pretty, nice. I'm watching my camera person readjust their glasses. So there again, preference. We could get it. You get it with the couch, but I kind of like having this. And most, you know, if the mom and pop are taking the kids or grandkids or the head of the race team, they like a nice place to be able to sit down, and then you can accommodate 3 people there. It just eliminates 2 extra sleeping spots is right there, but just preference. So very standard fridge. Thing we've done forever. They got rid of the handles a few years ago. This is set up for any kind of, you know, we generally will take and put the Starlink above there, but if you have DVD players, satellite, anything like that would go up in that overhead cabinet. So decent storage here. We do have the drawers in stock, so if a person ever wanted the additional drawers, we always have those in stock at the dealership. I generally don't recess the cooktop, just a matter of preference. Single basin sink. But decent amount of storage. All the drawers are all dovetail. There is, they call basically a silverware drawer that will open, and they're all soft close as well. Definitely the lightest color countertop there, which is there again kind of my preference. TV will move away from the wall and pivot as well. Stacked washer dryer. And then we generally will take and put some coat racks right here. We could take and do additional racks over the top of that. There again, just kind of a matter of preference. It does have what they call the all wood entry, so it does not have vinyl around the entry, just kind of classes it up a little bit. Does have the optional ceiling fans, and then we do have these AC covers that kind of covers that cheap plastic, just the Coleman intakes that to me just kind of looks more travel trailer, so just kind of cleans up the ceiling a little bit. Pocket door here, but you do have a really large pantry. Pocket door is just magnetic. Full-size bunk beds, so you can put big kids in there, adults. Same for this bath right here. It's a little bit tighter, but I can tell you that this bath is much bigger. The shower is much bigger than the XL. We've not done any XL BBCs for 24, because for 25 they do get wider. So keep that in mind. If you have an inkling on buying a BBC, I would wait another month and get the 25 model, because otherwise you're going to be in here exceptionally tight. I think the current BBC bunkhouse is 4 inches less, so it's going to take a lot of room out of this guy. All adjustable shelves within your vanity there. Window at the head. But they do a good job at putting basically as many storage spots as possible. Really deep drawers right here. Even this guy back here. This is one of my favorite things on Step Brothers. Show and tell. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to make that big giant dish or drawer right there. They could have just put a piece of plate over there. So I just, you know, they do a good job at maximizing space. Another pocket door to be able to isolate this area right here. 66-inch wide bed. Water tanks underneath, so you basically get 2 75-gallon water tanks. You'll see the 2 hydraulic registers on each side of the bed, and then small things. Come time to dump the water, you have this massive dump valve right here to be able to evacuate the water really quickly. Your central back port inside is right there. We can option these with a 72-inch wide bed, but basically this gets really, really tight. So I generally think that a 66 is a good trade-off to be able to get down to an RV. Still have plenty of walk-around room there. Egress window at the head of the bed. You do have a master control panel here. And then the big giant closet. So full width all the way across the back. Sounds like there's a part that fell down. The mystery screw. Mystery screws. It came from somewhere, kids, and I'll figure it all out. Oh, there it is. Put that on my list of to-do. So, a lot of custom orders, we've been eliminating this and just doing a door there without the mesh to be able to use for storage. Something like that, we could take and easily change that out after the fact. Just basically pop those off and be able to put just a full door there. But there again, lots of storage there. They don't do drawers here because the drawers would actually have to get quite a bit smaller, and the depth it's really tough to get drawer guides that bring the drawer all the way out here. Save this, kids. So rear bath does have a window in the rear bath as well, which is kind of very welcome to kind of open things up. We generally don't do any sort of a skylight there, but we do the max air fan to be able to evacuate. On new coaches, we try to air them out, so I like to run the max airs for about a week or two with the coach indoors, kind of clean up the air. So very simple shower. This is adjustable here. Before we ship them, I like to do this just so they don't fall out on really rough roads. Won't be any real change for the 2025 model. Classic bunkhouses. Colors will pretty much all be the same. There again, adjustable storage within the vanity. And those are all adjustable as well. And then a fair amount of room here. We'll do the solid surface as opposed to the stainless steel sinks. But all in all, I mean, very cool coach. I don't think you'll see one out there for quite some time that will be a twin to it. So we do have the option. I could get somebody a Peterbilt 589 in production within probably about 90 days. So if anybody had any interest, make sure you guys hit me up. So this coach is available. You can check it out on our website. We'll probably be here in Indiana for another week or so before we ship it back, just kind of depending upon when our driver can come up and what parts have to get back. But if somebody was in there and wanted to check it out, give me a shout, call the dealership, and then they'll call me here in Indiana. If anybody wants to do a test drive of this, anybody wanted to do a factory tour, whether it's Renegade or Charlotte, we get that orchestrated. We'll be here most of the summer. We'll be kind of back and forth, but for anybody that wants to come up and check things out, it's always kind of a cool, people enjoy coming up here. There's a lot of production. There's a lot of cool things to see. Lake Michigan is less than an hour away. It's basically like an ocean. So there's so many different things to see up here. So it's definitely a good time to come out to the area. It's nice and warm. It's 75, 80 degrees. You don't have to worry about any snow and ice and salt and such. But, give us a shout. Our website is pmcrv.com. And dealership is 806-412-0015. 806-412-0015. Easiest thing, just check us out online, pmcrv.com. We'll kind of walk through the coach a little bit, see if I missed anything as I'm... What's that?
Cab view.
Cab view. We'll get in the cab. Do you have some additional USB ports down there? Steering wheel controls that'll integrate with your radio. That really kind of sexy long hood look. So very cool. Make sure you guys keep on coming out. We'll do some more videos next week as we have some more units. We've tried to halt our 2024 model stuff and wait for 2025. So we got 3 classics that'll be ready basically June and July. So anybody that's interested in a classic at all, there'll be similar type colors and similar type options and amenities. Always appreciate you guys watching the videos. It's been a long week here in Indiana for us, so we're ready to go to the house and kind of relax, hang out a little bit. But if anybody that is at one of the boot camps here and wants to talk about a coach, give me a shout. Appreciate you guys always checking us out. If you need to send me an email this weekend, Darren at performancemotorcoaches.com, DARIN at performancemotorcoaches.com. Make sure you guys like, tag, and subscribe.